Good morning, happy Monday. Thank you for joining 10 Minutes Get More, where I share a tool, tip, or technique that will help you get the most of your career or from your commercial teams in the travel industry. Now, today I'm going to be sharing a tool that I've been using with quite a few clients over the last month or so. And as it came up for so many of them, I thought it'd be really helpful to share it with some of you as well. This tool is great for when you need to make a decision that feels like a relatively straightforward this or that decision. Often this or that decision could be related to work, could be related to your personal life. And I'm not talking about what takeaway we're going to get this weekend, right? I'm talking about one of those big life decisions where there's a lot riding on it. And when there's a lot riding on our decisions, that can be when we most find it difficult to make them, because our logical brain starts going, what about this? What about the money? How's it going to happen? What if I get it wrong? What if everybody laughs at me? So we start having all of these logical or sometimes emotional questions that are going on that prevent us from seeing clearly what's really in the balance between the two sides of this decision that we're making. What's been funny is that for the 3 or 4 clients that I've done this with in the last month, all of theirs has been about work, and all of theirs has ended up being, should I stay with the thing that I'm currently doing, or should I make a big change? So what I'm calling it for today is stick or twist. It might not be exactly this when you do it. Like I said, it has to feel like there's kind of one side pulling you this way and one side pulling you the other way. So for one of my clients, for example, one of my private coaching clients, she's currently employed in a role. She's enjoying it. She feels like there could be more to life. She doesn't know what that looks like, but she's enjoying the stability of the paycheck. Do we hear that? You know, the maternity policy and all of that stuff. But she's drawn to do her own thing and set up her own business and test out other parts of her life. But as you can see, that kind of decision, which impacts other people in her life and also could go wrong, and then we start to question if we're making the right decision. So what the activity is, I'm going to call it stick or twist. It's also called force fields. First, you draw in the middle of a page of paper a little stick person. That's you. If you want to make it look more like you can do whatever you want. You know, you can give it hair, smiley face, do whatever you want. That's going to be you. And then very close to that stick figure, we're going to draw 2 lines. So you're inside this sort of corridor, and we're sort of doing the opposite of what happened in Star Wars when they're in that crush container and they're pushing the walls out. You're being here drawn out into 2 sides of your decision. And one side is going to be called stick and one is going to be called twist. Just for the purposes of today, you could call it stay in my job or get a new job. Or you could call it go on holiday to Kenya or go on holiday to Mauritius, like whatever the decision is that you're making. So the idea is we've got these 2 opposing forces that are pulling us in 2 different directions. For some reason we want to go that way, and for other reasons we want to go that way. The next thing you're going to do is start to draw arrows that are pulling you in that direction. And now you can get as creative as you want. You can make them different colors, you can make them different sizes, and each arrow represents a specific thing that is drawing you in that direction. So the bigger the arrow, the more important it is, let's say. By the end of it will look something like this, but the important thing is that each arrow means something, and I'd recommend adding the words. So on stick, it's not surprising, but I'm going to put stability, whatever that stick looks like. I could have another stick on stability, which is, maybe it's career progression. Maybe that's something that's important to you. So you'll start to have different arrows on different sides. They could be different colors, different shapes, different sizes, showing how important they are to you. And then on twist, maybe you've got, I don't know, chance to be creative. Could be a big pull going over there. Meeting new people could be a big thing that's pulling you over there. And normally there's more than this, obviously, and you can take some time to think about it, share it with your partner or a friend, because it really helps to draw them out. Speaking this out loud as well as writing it down is like the dream combo to be able to tap into what you're really thinking and feeling about this thing. Now, once you've got out all of the arrows, all of the things that are pulling you in either direction, and do you know what? I've had clients that even have an arrow from that side into this side, and it makes sense to them. So whatever you need to do, just get it down on paper. And when you've done all of that, you might already start to have some thoughts. You might different thoughts than what you've had before. So take a moment to reflect and think. First question, does anything feel different now than it did before I started drawing? That's your first question. What feels different having got it all out on a piece of paper? Make a note of it. You can write it down, whatever you like. Second second question is, what can I borrow from one side and take to the other side? So for example, on this in this equation, on this side, creativity is a big draw for this person to change something, but they like the stability and the career progression over here. So how can they get a bit more creativity into their stick situation? Could they be on a new project? Work isn't everything, right? Could they be creative outside of work, keep this job, and would that make them overall much happier? Could they take a 3-month sabbatical and go and do something creative and then come back? Like, think about how you can borrow things from here over here and vice versa. If you're over here doing something new and creative and unstable, which is the impression I'm getting, and what matters over here was career progression and stability, how can you plan for this? If you could save £30,000, would that give you the confidence to leap over here and feel like you're being stable? Is having a network of people to support you going to help you feel more stable over here? So what can you borrow and bring over, which will reveal many more options for you? That's question number 2. What can I borrow from the other side? And question number 3 is, what further research do I need to do, or what further questions do I need to ask? That will often come up during the process of writing the arrows. You'll suddenly be like, oh, I'm saying stability, but I actually don't even know where we're merging with another company next year. Maybe I need to wait till a certain time. I'm saying that I'll meet people over here, but maybe whatever, freelance life is actually quite lonely. Maybe I should talk to some freelancers that are already doing what I'm doing and understand what their day looks like. I'm always a big fan of that, by the way. Find someone that's doing the thing you think you want to do and ask them, what is your day actually like? Because we often romanticize this. So then you'll come up with, so that was question 3, what further research or questions do I need to find out? So then what you're going to have from here, hopefully, is a shift in your perspective. Something might have changed for you just by drawing the arrows. You're going to have some ideas, and you can make them into solid plans about what to borrow from one side or take to the other, so that the force fields are not so opposing and it's more of a merged approach, more of a balanced approach. And then the last thing is, you're going to have some questions and research to do, which is going to help you to make that decision that you've been having trouble making. So that is Stick or Twist. Been very popular with my clients. I would love you to drop in a comment and tell me if you've used this, or if you're going to try it, or you have a big decision coming up. Feel free to DM me as well. And that's the kind of work I do with my clients, to help them get a different perspective about the things that they've been struggling with.